Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. Hope all of you are doing well. This is a video session on daily news and editorial analysis dated 30th of December. Through this video session, I'll be discussing the important news and editorial both from the Hindu and Indian Express. The analysis and the discussion of the news will specifically help and cater the aspirant of civil services examination, State Public Service Commission aspirant, and even one-day examination conducted by various state and union agencies. So we'll see the detail of the news, understand its relevance from the examination perspective. So let's get started. Before I start, I'll give you the highlights of the news and then we'll proceed with the depth analysis of each and every news one by one. So starting with the highlights of the day, the first important news talks about an agreement between the center and the Assam with regards to the Ulfa fraction, something very important which called for the deep prosperity and the silence. And even if you look at the part 4, the distraction which was there in the northeastern region will actually be sorted. The second important news talks about the ISRO that has come up with the launch of ExpoSat. This is something which will be coming on January, an important milestone in the science and technology sector for India. The third important news talks about the lithium deal that India is having with Argentina. Apart from all that particular countries, India is also looking forward with an agreement with Australia and Chile. Now, the second last news talks about the Indian Navy epaulets, which is there for admirals. We'll see the new epaulets which is there, what are the significance and why it actually has been changed. And I'll be concluding the session with editorial that talks about the disability inclusion, which is something very important. I'll better use the word differently abled because it's a time that government need to put a focus and impetus ensuring the inclusion of differently abled individuals. So these are the news highlights. Let's get started with a deep discussion of each and every news one by one. So the first important news talks about an agreement between the center and the Assam government. This is a peace talk or the peace pact between the Ulfa Federation, right? So this is something again very important in terms of northeastern region. This will call for more prosperity and even the peace, the stability in the region, which is more important. So after years of ceasefire, pro-talk fractions, and even if you look at the Ulfa, that has come up with signing an agreement with Ministry of Home, and they have renounced violence and dissolved the part of outfit which was there. Something very important, specifically in the northeastern region, जहाँ पे recent में आपने मणिपुर में भी काफी violence देखे थे. That was because of other reason. But again, this type of news is something which will call for more stability in the region, right? Now, moving ahead, what is a memorandum of settlement, right? For many companies that is there, we call it MOU. But अगर स्टेट के बीच में इस तरह के सेटलमेंट होती है कोई मिलिटेंट ग्रुप के साथ, we call it MOS, that is the memorandum of settlement. Now in this, the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Assam government has come up with the pro talks with the ULFA that stand for United Liberation Front of Assam. Assam कहते हैं ASOM. Now this was a triplet memorandum of understanding because three entities involved. The one is the central government, which is by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Then we have Assam government, right, and ULFA. So these are the three entities that is called a tripartite agreement. The point of agreement or the point of inclusion under this settlement will include for the political demands, ST status for the communities, reservations in educational and employment. This will call for more inclusion of this region. NRC and illegal immigration must be taken into consideration. Land and forest, identity, culture, heritage, tea garden and rehabilitations will be also taken into consideration under the MOS, that is Memorandum of Settlement. Then we have resettlement of the armed cadre and outfit, special development package, which will be definitely a financial package, and the planned development in the state that call for more inclusive development in terms of infrastructure, in terms of policies, and many other things that call for the planned development in the specific region. Now, just to give you the brief about ULFA, specifically ये आपके लिए जानना ज़रूरी है because there can be a questions with the organization. Even you can use this as a fodder point and specifically for the aspirant of CAPF, right? उनके लिए भी ये ज़्यादा relevant. So Ilfa is one of the oldest separatist army outfit, I mean the part of armed outfit which is there in the country, in the northeastern region of the country. It was launched in 1979 in Upper Assam, and it gradually started its operation in 1980. And by 1990 it was considered as one of the deadliest outfit, only after Litti, that is the liberation for Tamil, that is there in Sri Lanka, and some extremate in NSCN and IM. This was an also organization which has actually made a collaborations with the government of India, और उसके बाद वहाँ पे इस तरह की organizations को बहुत हद तक peace process के through stabilize किया जा रहा है by the government. Now, moving ahead with other news, ISRO all set to launch ExpoSat, something very important for, science and technology, specifically for General Studies Paper 3. The first X-ray polarimeter satellite, जिसको ExpoSat भी कहते हैं, the short form is ExpoSat, right? It will investigate the intense polarizations of X-ray resources in the space, right? So pretty relevant for prelims examination. You can expect a direct question, and also for the one-day examination, वहाँ पे भी ये काफी relevant होगा. Now, what is the C6058 Expo mission? There's a collaboration which is done by various startups. The new startups is Dhruva Space. Now, there is a Bellatrix Aerospace and TM2 Space that has come up with the payload. और वो इसरो को assistance करेंगे in launching this particular C58 ExpoSat missions, right? Now, ISRO, this particular PSLV C58 will be launching the ExpoSat satellite in the eastward low inclinations orbit. There's certain direction which is decided by ISRO, ensuring with the part of feasibility of this particular mission. And PSLV, that is the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, which will be an orbital experimental module 3 experiment, which will executed by an objective of 10 identified payloads, which is something supplied by ISRO and InSpace. InSpace is a commercial wing and arm of ISRO, which is providing all sort of amenities and basic necessity for a mission launch, right? Now, अगर बात करें satellite measurement on X-ray emissions, how it will work. So this ExpoSat is a dedicated scientific satellite which actually is coming up with this meters the X-ray emissions and celestial bodies which will be there. कुछ specific payloads इसमें use किए गए हैं, that is POLIX and XPEX. POLIX stand for polymeter instrument in X-ray, and we have XPEC, that is X-ray spectrometer and timing, right? And the other part, अगर दोनों के difference की बात करें, POLIX has been developed by the Raman Research Institute and XPEX has been developed by the Space Autonomy Group of URC in Bangalore. So there are a lot of other startups which is there in Bangalore in Karnataka, assisting ISRO in launching process and various mission, whether it is a micro missions or macro missions, both of them is assisted by various new startup operating in the country. Now, क्या सिग्निफिकेंस होगी इस तरह के लॉन्च की? अगर एक्सपो मिशंस की बात करें, ये स्टडी करेगी 50 brightest known sources of the universe, which include the pulsars, black hole, X-ray, the binaries, and even the galactic nuclei, neutron stars, and neothermal supernova remnants. तो ये सारी चीज़ों की स्टडी की जाएगी. It will give a detailed part and it will give more exploration on that particular region. Now, the satellite will be placed in the circular low orbit, which I have already told you. It will be a range of 500 to 700 kilometers with a mission span of 5 years. So the total duration will be of a 5 year. The export mission is not only is India's first dedicated polar missions, but even it's the second in the world. NASA के बाद जो image X-ray polar explorations की जो the part of things that is taking place, India will be the second country to do so after the United States, which actually come up with the launch in 2021. So we are very close to that. Down the line, 2 साल के बाद ही हमने इसे launch करने की, we have been able to do that. It's a great achievement for science and technology and specifically for ISRO. Now, moving ahead, India to acquire lithium block in Argentina, something very important, which called for more robust part where India will be getting the lithium. So the Ministry of Mines is actually looking for the final stage of negotiation with country like Argentina, and Argentina will be definitely helping us in getting the part of the required lithium that is required for different sectors in the country. I'll tell you which all sectors are actually using the part of lithium. So that we'll discuss in a while. Now, contract details की अगर बात करें, see any contract that is done between the government of India and the other country, there are some entities, organizations और body involved. तो यहाँ पे खनिज विदेश लिमिटेड, we call it KBI. तो KBIL से KBIL भी कहते हैं, right? Now this is a joint venture that is making a collaborations with Kemen, जो कि जर्मन की अपनी mining energy corporations company है. There will be a collaborations between these two entities. And after Australia, India's second attempt to sign the foreign partnership, which is again very crucial. The demand for lithium is increasing, which is also called white gold, right? White gold भी कहते हैं इसे. और इसकी डिमांड सेक्टर्स वाइज काफ़ी ज़्यादा बढ़ी है. इन इंडिया इंडिया ने मेमोरेंडम ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी साइन किया था ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ विद क्रिटिकल मिनरल फैसिलिटेशन ऑफिसर्स टू एक्सप्लोर द 5 ब्लॉक ऑफ लिथियम एंड 3 of cobalt, so which is again a demand for industrial sector in the country. Now, plan of actions की अगर बात करें, how India will be actually executing this entire part of agreement. So India is planning to come up with the overseas office. Why overseas office? Because it will facilitate a smoother coordinations between the local regulatory authorities. तो जो काबिल की ऑफिस है, KBIL will be established in Argentina to have a better coordinations among the Argentina authorities. The center is planning to invest around 200 crore rupees over 5 years with the exploration and development process with the mines, and along with Argentina and Australia, KBIL will be also engaging with the other countries which include Bolivia and Chile. तो ये कुछ 2 countries हैं जिनके साथ explorations में भी इंडिया और ज़्यादा verticals को explore करेंगे. At present, India meets the lithium requirement entirely through import. So most of the lithium requirement that we are, as of now, the demand is we are importing that part because the reserve in India is only in Jammu Kashmir region with some specific points, with not that much, right? तो इसी वजह से हमें import करनी पड़ती है. Global lithium reserves की अगर बात करें, if you look at the countries in Latin America, we have primarily the country include the Chile and Argentina, which account for 30 to 35% of the reserve, right? तो ये 35 से 30 to 35% reserve पूरी world की जो supplies है वो यहाँ से आती है. उसके बाद Chile has 11% of the world lithium reserve, which supplies 26% of the requirement, while Argentina has nearly fifth of the global reserve, account for 6%, and Australia is among the other larger producer globally. Argentina is home to 21% of the global lithium, which accounting for 98 million tons. So these are the data. Again, the exploration will continue further. If it is there, fine. This number is going to increase, but as of now, at present, these are the data. Now, agar global baat kare white gold ki, that is the lithium part. So if you look at the countries, Bolivia is among the one. Then we have Argentina, United States, Chile, Australia, China. Then India is there. After India, we have Germany. Then we have Congo, Canada, and other countries accounting for this number. So lithium reserve in the world, something very important. You can be asked about the details. India में specifically अगर बात करें, जो recent discovery हुई है J&K में, that is the only area we have found lithium or white gold, right? Now moving ahead with lithium and its applications. अगर बात करें किस industries, किस sectors में इसकी सबसे ज़्यादा use है, so this is mostly used in the lithium ion batteries. And these batteries are essentially used in the range of devices, which include your smartphone, your laptops, electronic vehicles, EV की जिस तरह से demand बढ़ी है, the demand for lithium will go but obvious on a higher scale. Energy storage system, a renewable energy, solar power and wind power. Lithium is also employed in certain medical instruments like ceramics. Medical instruments के अलावा ceramics में component of aerospace technology. तो ये कुछ wide area of sectors हैं जहाँ पे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा lithium की use की जाती है. Now moving ahead, Indian Navy has unveiled the new epilots for the admirals. Now this is something which will call for a new part of redesigning and more indigenous, moving ahead with the colonial legacy for Indian Navy, and this will call for more influence of the custom and tradition for the Indian Navy. You can see these are the part of epilots which is there for the rear admiral. Then we have other admirals, vice admirals, and the part of the Sir Admiral which is there in the Indian Navy. Now design of epilots की अगर बात करें, प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने recently नेवी डे में ये अनाउंस किया था that we are looking forward with the part of the changes that should be brought in Indian Navy, and an Indian Navy is set to revamp the part of the lower ranking of the British nomenclature, and they will reflect the changes that is proposed as per the more indigenous and making more indigenous part of Indian Navy. Now अगर बात करें इस न्यू एपिलॉट्स की, किस तरह से ये चेंज की गई है, समथिंग ब्रीफली आई विल बी गिविंग यू द डिटेल्स. You can even take this picture as a screenshot for your revision. So the new epilogues has some changes. You can see this was is the old one and this is the new one, right? It is mentioned over here as well. Now this include the golden button, which amplify and signify with certain parts. Then we have a Shivaji seal, which is mentioned over here. Now then Indian sword, which is there. Then we have telescopes, like the shape which is there of the telescopes, right? Earlier there was something other shapes. Now we have stars also. These are the stars. The prior shape, the earlier shape was this one. The newer shape is this one with the stars. The epaulets has no particular significance other to increase the aesthetics appeal. So these are the 5 important changes that has been brought in the Navy new epaulets, right? Now, moving ahead with the editorial for the day that calls for a disability inclusion, and this might be headed. Now, this particular article specifically highlights the point where government need to consider as special programs and policies ensuring the inclusion of differently abled individuals. Now, I'll be giving you the idea about the neuropsychiatric disorder, खास करके neuropsychiatric disorders जो हैं उनको देखेंगे. Revamping the part of rehabilitation services, tap scientific advances which is there and the way forward. Now, International Day for Person with Disability was actually celebrated on December 3, right? We are close to this particular month. Now, this initiative is actually which give more impetus and emphasizing how the the part of the daily activities and how we can improve the quality of life for the differently abled individual. यूनाइटेड नेशंस ने भी यूएन ने भी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस की बात की है फॉर द इंक्लूसिव डेवलपमेंट, shifting the focus on innovation and reducing the part of disability which is there across the globe, not specifying any region, right? India में भी substantially काफ़ी ज़्यादा high number है, but globally ये acclaim की गई है कि हमें इसमें जो inclusions हैं, disable inclusions पे ध्यान देने की ज़रूरत है. In the field of neuropsychiatry, we have seen that addressing the brain-minded interference and even that has been notable with the part of treatment should be taken into consideration. ऐसा नहीं है सिर्फ फिजिकल डिसेबिलिटी होती है, न्यूरोसाइकेट्रिक डिसेबिलिटी भी ऐसी डिसेबिलिटी है जो कि काफ़ी ज़्यादा ग्लोबली विटनेस की जाती है एंड इट इज क्रिएटिंग अ प्रॉब्लम्स. Now, what is neuropsychiatric disorders? I think you must be aware of this all disorder which is there. I'll give you a broad name of this details of the neuropsychotic disorders. There are n number of diseases which is there, which is not relevant for to discuss here. Now we have autism, then we have attention deficiency hyper syndrome, which is known as ADHD. Then intellectual disability in the childhood and mental health condition. There are several other diseases which is categorized under the mental health conditions. Now, revamping the rehabilitation service, this is again very important. If you look at the global burden, अगर बात करें across the globe, जो global burden है, World Health Organizations ने अपने data में reveal किया है that 2.41 billion people are actually, they're looking forward the rehabilitations are resulting in 310 million years to live with the disabilities. This has marked the increase of 63% from 1990 to 2019. तो ये ज़रूरी है कि जो रिहैबिलिटेशन है वो कंप्रिहेंसिवली देखे जाए. जो न्यूरोलॉजिकल मेंटल डिसऑर्डर्स हैं दैट नीड टू बी टेकन विद अ कंप्रिहेंसिव मैनर, फोकसिंग ऑन द पार्ट ऑफ स्पेसिफिक स्पेशलिटी, और उसको डीप डाउन वी नीड टू रिसर्च इट आउट, वी नीड टू हैव अ स्पेसिफिक डॉक्टर्स, स्पेसिफिक सेगमेंट टू एड्रेस द प्रॉब्लम. Now, it is also crucial for the community awareness that the differently abled does not invade and can offer the part of reverse to the some cases. If we as an individual will treat them well, and even we are aware of the fact that how need to be treated out, so that will ultimately reduce the part of neurological disorder which is there, the hypertensions, the other disorder which is there, the neurological threat, the mental disorder which is arises because of the treatment can be definitely improved. Now, the TAP scientific advances has been suggested. We can use some scientific methodology like non-invasive brain stimulation, which is also known as NIBS. Now, these are the technology which can be used to give an external stimulus to an individual. The repetitive transnational magnetic stimulations can emerge as the mainstream segment for depressions, obsessive compulsion disorder, and various conditions. Now, अगर functional magnetic stimulations की बात करें, it's a technique that addresses the pain, spasticity, inconvenience, and neurological conditions. Now, these innovations offer promising advance with the course of rehabilitation of neurological and mental health conditions. So these need to be devised out where tapping the part of scientific advancement will definitely call for reducing the part of overall cases. Now, moving ahead with the way forward, there is also a need to encourage the medical professional, the people, the medical fraternity definitely need to address this problem, and they should be adequately backed by the government policies, whether it's government, private, or non-profit organization. They must consider with the rehabilitation as essential services. After that, government can also come up with the crucial policies, whether it's a public sector, private sector, they can collaborate and find a solution with differently abled individual with more accessibility and equitable places. Government ने सुगम योजना, right? There's other the part of scheme which is there, और भी इस तरह की कई ऐसी स्कीम है जो गवर्नमेंट लेकर आई है टू मेक थिंग्स मोर एक्सेसिबल टू द इंडिविजुअल हु इज डिफरेंटली एबल्ड. तो इस तरह के स्कीम्स भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा हेल्पफुल होंगे. स्पेसिफिकली इस तरह के एग्जाम्पल्स आप जनरल स्टडीज़ पेपर 4 में यूज़ कर पाएंगे, जहाँ केस स्टडीज़ में भी डिफरेंटली एबल्ड से कई बार सवाल पूछे जाते हैं. So this is how I'll be concluding the part of the way forward. Moving ahead with the answers discussion for yesterday questions. जो कल की पहली सवाल है उसका करेक्ट ऑप्शन है बी. यहाँ पे जो ऑप्शन 2 है दैट इज करेक्ट एंड ऑप्शन 1 इज करेक्ट. डू चेक आउट अपने फेमस से रिगार्डिंग क्या ऑप्शन करेक्ट मार्क किए हैं, एंड इफ यू डोंट नो द करेक्ट आंसर यू कैन रीड आउट द स्टेटमेंट ओवर हियर. The second question, the correct statement is A. I have asked you about the Eurasian otters. तो चेक करें इसके क्या करेक्ट ऑप्शन आपने मार्क किया था. स्टेटमेंट 1 is only correct. Moving ahead with today's MCQ questions for the day. This is about the European Bank reconstruction development. It's only public sector that is eligible for the profit finance. It encourages the part of upholding the impeachment democratic values. India does not have any share in ERBD. So check out for the correct option. और इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए क्वेश्चन आंसर में आप कमेंट सेक्शन में क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 लिखें. उसके बाद अपने जो करेक्ट ऑप्शंस हैं ए, बी, सी और डी, you can drop your answer in the comment section down below. The second question for the day is about the major breakthrough prizes. This is something the Oscar science that has been awarded to Bill Gates and Melinda Foundations. The prize aims to honor the outstanding individual made transformative contributions to the fundamental science. Now the same procedures will be there to make a participation. You can simply write your question number 2 followed by your correct options, and this option need to be there in the comment section down below, which will ensure your participation in the question answer series. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the daily MCQs. If you have any other concern, queries about test series, admissions, programs, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying connected.